that. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Take 3 podcast. We're here Thursday, late afternoon, right before Thursday Night Football. Big game for us. We got the Eagles going on the road to play the Houston Texans. Got a little World Series double matchup. It's weird for the first time, I'd say, in recent memory that I can remember, a football game going on between two cities and a baseball game, World Series baseball game going on between the two cities. So that's always cool. But what we're also back here to discuss is NFL Week 9, preview it. Matchups on here, they're on the screen. Not really many amazing matchups. You got Green Bay looking to kind of get right, go to Detroit, Carolina, big dog Cincinnati trying to get right after that embarrassing showing last week. You get to watch the Chargers go into Atlanta, but Belichick's looking to get a win over Sam Ehlinger. Should be cakework. That looks like an easy one. Buffalo facing the Jets. I guess we'll find out if the Jets are legit, right? I mean, first real test, you face Josh Allen, you face the Buffalo Bills, you're going to find out if you're cut. I kind of already have my feeling of what's going to happen. Pretty sure we're both on the same stance. Vegas goes to Jacksonville. Josh McDaniels looking to get anything going there. Probably could start by getting Devontae Adams the ball a little bit, or that's a pro tip. Late in the afternoon, Rams, Tampa Bay, division round rematch. Both teams kind of reeling. Both teams desperately need a win. I'd say the Rams still need the win more just because they're in a harder division. That NFC South's kind of cakework. And then to close out Sunday, the Titans go on the road, almost 13-point favorites, taking on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So looking over Week 9, big night tonight. How are you feeling about Week 9 schedule? And yeah,
another weekend of football, Week 9. I don't think there's any crazy matchups this weekend. I think some spreads are pretty interesting. We got a couple close ones. You mentioned most of them. I think Seattle, Arizona will be pretty interesting. NFC West matchup, 2-point spread. But there's a couple interesting ones. I don't think there's any key big matchups, but I think it'll be a fun weekend for some teasers because some of the spreads are a little large this weekend.
For sure. Let's get into first matchup on the docket. It actually lets me switch over here. We're going to talk the Bills go on the road. As I made this, the spread jumped up. When I originally made this slide, it was 11.5. It's already up to 12.5, I believe it was, or it might still be 11.5. But obviously we know what's going on here. Josh Allen, Super Bowl team going on the road to face the Jets. Surprise, sitting at 5-3. Obviously they got humbled a little bit last week. I rode with the Jets last week, I believe, and I was kind of disappointed. Zach Wilson kind of shines, and then he throws 3 picks. Belichick kind of owns Zach Wilson. That's what it is. But this is the first big one, right? I mean, the Jets, we're going to find out what they're about. I kind of know what they're about. I don't really trust Zach Wilson. I think he holds the key to the entire Jets, kind of his development and him showing that he's an actual franchise quarterback, controls how far the Jets can really go, especially now with Breece Hall down. I mean, I like Sauce Gardner. I like what that defense is doing on the other side, but if your offense can't get anything going, your work's cut out for you and you're facing a football team this good. So how are you feeling? Bills going into New York, big favorites in a division game against the Jets.
Yeah, I think you laid it out pretty well. If New York would have had a big win against New England last week, I think I might have picked them to cover the spread because New York was on the up and up. Obviously, the constant thing is we need more from Zach Wilson. We need to see him operate the offense better. We need to see him get I would like to see some big yardage plays through the air, not just through the ground. Breece Hall has been phenomenal. Unfortunately, his rookie season's cut short. But there's so many positive good things the Jets are actually doing as a young team to build on, which I'll be 100% honest. Even though they have a young core, I really didn't think they were going to be that good this year. I thought it was going to be another dumpster fire. They put together some really good weeks. And to me, it's all about Zach Wilson. I think you kind of nailed it. We need to see him play better. And in New York, which will be good for them. For the Jets, will be a home game. But I'm just interested in seeing how Zach Wilson plays against his Buffalo defense. I expect them to lose the game. I picked Buffalo to cover. I think they should have covered last week against Green Bay. Josh Allen threw 2 picks. I don't think that'll happen 2 weeks in a row. I expect the Bills to be ready to go. Honestly, divisional game. It's not a huge game for them, but after just not being as good as they could have been last week, I think the offense is going to be really locked in. So I expect the Bills to score a lot of points. So to me, this game is all about can Zach Wilson keep it close at least? Can he keep it within the 11.5? I think most people don't think he can, but let's see what Zach Wilson can do because this is going to be a really good test against a phenomenal team and a great defense. And to me, the game is more about a measuring stick for the Jets and specifically Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and personally, I'm not jumping out of my seats. The records kind of make it interesting that the Jets have kind of played themselves into maybe potentially a wild card slot in the AFC. Yeah, I just think he's going to have the work cut out. It's the number 3 defense in football. It's the number 1 scoring defense, and I think they're going to kind of have their way, and we're going to kind of see the Zach Wilson of old that we saw last year. We've seen it a little bit this year. It just hasn't been impressive. I just don't think they're going to be able to control the rock and run the ball. I'm interested to see defensively how Sauce Gardner is going to hang up on Stephon Diggs. You imagine that that's going to be the matchup, right? Robert Saleh is going to have his guy out there on Stephon Diggs. Still don't think he's allowed a touchdown even through college. The guy's been a stud, but you go up and face Stephon Diggs. That's legit. But then it also opens up windows for Gabe Davis, and that's the key matchup that I think Josh Allen's going to look at. He'll take his shots at Stephon Diggs and Sauce Gardner, but I think it's going to be a big day for Gabe Davis because he'll be able to pick on the number 2 corner, and if his ankle's up to par, do his thing. And the Bills' offense should roll. I don't think the Jets can put up enough points to really make this a dogfight of a game, and unless something miraculous happens, right? Unless Josh Allen gets sick Sunday morning and Matt Barkley has to play. But as long as the Bills are healthy, I think they're rolling probably 14 points, 2 touchdowns, I'd say. I don't think it's going to be that close just because the Jets offense is not going to be able to keep up.
I think you nailed it. And we basically said the same thing, but opposite sides of the ball, right? Sauce Gardner on D, Zach Wilson on offense. It's kind of like let's just see how the young pieces for the Jets do. And, let's see if they can keep it close. But yeah, I think Buffalo by 17, led by number 17, somewhere around there, all Bills.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be a big test. We'll see. We'll get to also see how really good Sauce Gardner is facing one of the best receivers in the league. So it'll be fun. It'll be an interesting watch on Sunday. Moving on. Later in the afternoon, as we mentioned, not many great matchups, but when you get 2 teams, one that was in the Super Bowl last year and the team that they beat in the playoffs on that way to the Super Bowl, the Rams rematching Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Bucs. Tom Brady coming off 3 straight losses for the first time in his career, I believe first time in 20 years, which is crazy to think about. And then the Rams, they haven't been that great as well. I believe Matt Stafford has more interceptions than touchdowns. I think it's 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's been less than stellar. The elbow's been not there. The O-line's been bad. Defense hadn't been great, and as we continue to mention about the Rams, outside of Cooper Kupp, they really haven't had any offense, right? No run game. It hasn't looked great. They brought in Allen Robinson. We kind of thought that was going to be a huge, he was going to go off with Matt Stafford in that offense, and we've yet to see it. So, what are you looking at here? 2 teams struggling. As I said off the top, I kind of think the Rams still need to win this game more than the Bucs just because of how easy the Bucs division is. But, it's a big game for both of them. They both need a win. Tom doesn't want to lose 4 in a row. He wants to get back in the win column and kind of get this thing going. They're favored by 3. So what are you looking at between the Bucs and the Rams on Sunday?
This game feels kind of hard to figure out to me. Not that we don't know what's going to happen, but these teams have been reeling so much, both of them, and they both have their issues at different points. And neither of these offenses have looked really good. And both defenses still have a bunch of key weapons and really good guys. Both defenses have played much better than their offenses have played. But I'm rolling Bucs simply because I think the Rams offense has been worse. There's no run game at all outside of Cooper Kupp. Allen Robinson has been better the last few weeks, but there's still no real explosive plays. It's all Cooper Kupp. And I just have a hard time seeing the Rams get it going against this Bucs defense. And it's in Tampa Bay, which is a little bit of a help for the home team. But at the same time, I don't say that with a lot of confidence, right? Because Aaron Donald against this offensive line that has been nothing short of bad this year. I think Tom Brady and the Bucs is going to struggle as well a lot. I think we're going to see a game with quite a few field goals kicked, not a lot of touchdowns. I would probably lean the under on this game. But these are 2 reeling teams that I have faith in their defenses, and I don't have faith in the offense for either of these teams. And I'm simply rolling Bucs because I think at home, I think the defense is going to play well. I like Tom over Matt even right now. And at the end of the day, the Bucs still have more viable weapons than the Rams do. And as bad as the Bucs offensive line has played, the Rams offensive line has not exactly been great either.
Yeah, I don't know. This is it's another matchup. Both teams, they suck ass right now. It's weird to see a Sean McVay offense, how hyped up he is. They're the 30th ranked offense. It's funny that you said the Rams have no rush game, but they're going up against the team that is worse than them. It's the 31st rushing offense in the Rams, taking on the 32nd rush offense in the Bucs, and neither team really has much running. Tom Brady, although has been better at the quarterback position. I don't know, man. It is a tough one. It's like a coin flippy game. I only took the Rams just because of one guy. It's number 99 in the middle. I think he'll be able to eat up the center and force a few pressures on Tom Brady. We know Tom hates the pressure up the middle, and that'll kind of sway the game. I mean, when I'm looking at this, the line's almost perfect. I see it being like a 17-14 ugly ball game on a Sunday, but it could be sway. If Cooper Kupp doesn't play, then I'm kind of going to be pissed. But what I've heard is he's kind of no ligament damage, that they do expect him to kind of be out there. So that's kind of swaying my pick. And just because I took the Bucs last week and they screwed me over, they started out look decent. I got excited a little bit. I rolled with the Sharps and I got absolutely torched. So yeah, I'm going to go Aaron Donald late in the game, force a huge pressure and hits Tom Brady up the middle.
So I love the Aaron Donald points. I think this is going to be a massive Aaron Donald game. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a strip sack, fumble recovery, to be honest. But if Cooper Kupp doesn't play, I want Cooper Kupp to play. They're a better team. It'll be a better game. I think it's better for the league. It's better for everybody if Cooper Kupp plays. But if he doesn't play, what does this offense look like? It's just, man, it might be the worst offense in the league if he sits. And obviously, I think you would probably sway Bucs if Cooper Kupp can't go out there on Sunday. I fully expect him to play, but just, man, it's already been such a struggle. If Cooper Kupp's not there, it's going to be a long Sunday for him.
Yeah, it'll definitely be ugly. I don't know. So with how bad the Bucs have been this year, that they'll find a way to still play them close, right? They'll find a way to still make it a closer matchup than it should be. But yeah, I mean, if you have to trot out there going into Tampa Bay against Tom Brady with Tutu, Atwell, Von Jefferson, and Allen Robinson, I mean, they still have Higbee, but there's no resemblance of a legitimate rush game with a quarterback with a bad elbow. Yeah, it would be a long day. So I'm hoping that number 10 suits up and's at least out there to catch balls, because he makes a huge difference. They probably have the 32nd offense if that guy didn't exist, because they've just been that bad this year on offense.
Defensive lovers should be a big fan of this game. Low score and lots of sacks.
For sure, yeah. And I'll be looking at how Shaq Barrett torn Achilles last week. How does that affect the Bucs pass rush against a bad O-line? The Rams O-line had been good since, I guess, losing Andrew Whitworth really killed their entire O-line. But let's move on. Sunday Night Football, Titans going into Kansas City, 12.5-point favorites. Mike Vrabel being a 12.5-point favorite, I kind of looked at that and I was like, there's just no way. I mean, there's no way I can pick the Chiefs. I don't know. It's something with the run game, them being able to run the ball with Derrick Henry and how good he is, control clock. If they just milk clock even enough, 12.5 just felt like a lot of points in this game. So, I mean, I was trusting Mike Vrabel. We know the game plan, whether it's Malik Willis, whether it's Ryan Tannehill, it's going to be heavy run, and it's going to be just try to hold up on defense, right? Create enough pressure Mahomes, force him into a couple bad throws. We've seen a couple this year, not many. He's kind of been on the money. The Chiefs offense has been on the money. But yeah, what are you looking for in this? I think we both agreed the 12.5. We kind of talked about that beforehand, and it just felt like a lot. And I'm trusting Mike Vrabel as a 12.5-point dog.
Yeah, I really did think for a second to take Kansas City, granted, because I'm assuming Ryan Tannehill is going to play this game, but even if he doesn't, it's just there's still professional football players on the other side of the field. They still got freaking Derrick Henry. They're still going to run the ball well, and just 12.5 almost feels like a disrespectful line. Like, the Chiefs are phenomenal. I don't want to get crazy with it. You get a Sunday night primetime game at Arrowhead. Like, everything's pointing to the Chiefs except for that damn number at 12.5, right? Like, it's not that I have faith in the Titans team or I think they got a chance to win. I'd be very surprised if Tennessee actually pulled off the upset. But it's simply just way too many points. You can get, like you already said, run the ball, get some clock control, get a strong ground game going, and you still have Derrick Henry. I don't have a lot of faith in this Titans defense. I think Mahomes is going to do what he does. I think they scored 28-ish points. The question is, can the Titans score 24 or 21, get close enough? And I think that's what we're watching in this game, which is kind of wild to say because it's Sunday night, but I just don't know how you can pick the Titans to straight up win. And then I don't know how you cannot lean with 12 and a half points in a professional football game, no matter what the matchup is. 12 and a half is a lot. Granted, it's a little hypocritical because we took Buffalo at 11 and a half against the Jets, but I got more faith in that scenario than this scenario. Titans are a much better team than the Jets are, and I got to roll the points here.
Yeah, I don't know. The Titans, they started out 0-2. They've won 5 straight. They've kind of figured out the old rhythm, right? I mean, they figured out the way it works, run 22. And as long as he's healthy, you're going to have success. I mean, I don't expect them to go into Kansas City by any measure and win. I definitely think that 27-3 game last year is going to be fresh on the Chiefs' mind, that it's bulletin board material. They're going to want to get that one back. But yeah, I mean, I'm trusting Mike Vrabel to go out there and lose 28-17, right? Lose by 11, right? That just don't get smoked. And I think they have enough, especially if Tannehill plays. He's smart enough. It'd be a little bit more dicey, I'd feel, if Malik Willis is out there, because it's really going to be just run, as we saw last week. I think he only threw 10 passes for 55 yards. But if Tannehill is out there, I trust that there might be some play actions. But it's going to be another night of just heavy Derrick Henry. I think they'll be able to bleed enough clock, force that. Maybe not a turnover. I mean, maybe they get a turnover, but I think they'll be able to get stops, right? They'll be able to force a couple punts and then use the clock up to where I don't think they just get absolutely mauled. 28-17 is what I'd say, somewhere in there. But yeah, I mean, if it's just straight picks, yeah, Chiefs money line, easy pick. But the 12 and a half with Mike Vrabel was just, it was a little disrespectful, I'd say.
And from Tennessee's perspective, here's a perfect opportunity. Put yourself in the conversation again. I mean, I would, if I'm a Tennessee Titan, I'd feel pretty disrespected. You at 12 and a half point line. We've won 5 in a row. Our 2 losses. Yeah, the Giants loss looked bad at the start of the year. Oh, wait, the Giants are 6-2 all of a sudden. No, obviously there's no excusing how badly they got blown out by Buffalo, but at least it was Buffalo. You were the 1 seed last year. I mean, if you're Tennessee, this is a perfect opportunity to make a statement. You should feel real disrespected when it comes to like the AFC playoff conversation nationally. No one's talking about Tennessee at all. They were the 1 seed last year. They laid out that dud. They probably feel a certain type of way about it. So there's a lot of motivation factors. I don't know how much that's really going to help. We're talking about pro athletes here. It's not high school, but a lot of reasons for Tennessee to be locked in, ready to go for this game, and no reason they can't at least cover.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't expect just a flat out rollover, because I mean, behind the Bills and the Chiefs and the AFC, they're kind of right up there, right? I mean, they're kind of that next crop of teams. It's weird to say because I'm not a huge Titans guy, but they're right up there. I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what it goes. Little disrespect from Mike Vrabel though. 12 and a half, a little bit crazy, but who knows? Vegas has been in business for so long; they might know something that we don't. Let's move on. This is our spread picks for week 9. I don't have the records on hand. You might have the records on tap. They're not great. I think I'm like a game below 500. I think we're both near 500.
I am 56-60. You are 56, 59-1. So we're sitting both about 4 games under 500.
For sure. So, I mean, yeah, you go straight on the list. The first 4 were kind of on, and then we kind of flip-flop. You went Lions, I went Packers. We flipped on the Chargers, Falcons as well. We're both riding with the Patriots against Sam Ehlinger. That should be pretty cake work, I'd hope. Jags, Raiders, we flip-flop there. Seahawks, Cardinals, we flip-flop, and then Rams, Bucs. I mean, there's some good disparity if either of us has a good week this week, right? So there can be a little bit of separation in these picks. Any games that you absolutely love, lock it in. That you're going with to call it a lock of the week type pick?
Love lock it in. I'm going to be honest. I don't have one that like I absolutely love. There's some that I really do like. If I had to pick one as a lock, I'd probably go Vikings -3 against Washington. I believe Taylor Heineke is going to be quarterbacking again. And Minnesota is simply a much better team than Washington is. They should win by a touchdown. So I'd probably lean Vikings 3. And I picked Raiders -1.5, but let's see if they can score a single point this week.
Yeah, for sure. Mine, I like the Dolphins at -4. I don't know, that offense with Waddle and Tyreek, it's just going to be too much. We absolutely watched the Bears get obliterated last week. Luckily for them, the Dolphins can't really run the ball, but they did just add Jeff Wilson, so it's like, hey, maybe that sparks the backfield, right? They get him back there instead of Raheem Mostert carrying the load. But I don't know. I just feel like Tyreek Hill's that good right now. You throw in Jalen Waddle, who's right up there as well. He's got like 700-something yards. They got one of the most dynamic duos out there. Tua all the shit he takes. He throws pretty accurate balls. Tyreek's had no issues, right? Everybody said that he was going to drop off when he leaves Mahomes. Clearly, that hasn't happened. He's leading the league. So, yeah, I like the Dolphins. I just don't think the Bears have enough. I don't think Chase Claypool swings things in the Bears fashion. And I like the Dolphins defense, right? Dolphins defense against Justin Fields. For sure. I like that one. Any of these other games that we kind of didn't gloss over that you're interested in as we kind of wrap this thing up?
I'll say this as a closing statement is that even though none of these games are like super big games, are going to tell us a lot about these teams this week. There should be a lot of fun ones like Lions, Packers, Chargers, Falcons, Raiders, Jags, Cardinals, Seahawks, Bucs, Rams. Like all those games do feel like coin flips to me. So I do think we could get some volatility this Sunday. It could be fun to watch because I think we'll get some unexpected outcomes.
For sure, yeah. Some potential get back games for definitely for the Bengals and the Packers. They're looking to get things right, especially at their last couple of weeks. It hasn't looked good. But that's going to be a wrap for this episode. Thank you. Please like, subscribe.